Tonight on CTV News at 6, a crash followed by an explosion and devastating fire.
So I came running outside, and within seconds you could see the fire.
At least one death and a search for 2 people. A local hobby shop hit by a thief with eyes on a specific prize.
Pokémon is like a pandemic in the world right now and in such high demand and short supply.
And car painting competition. The art of auto body beautification.
It's really cool to see like the different ways they do their work and just like how different you can be with everything you're doing.
After a day of heat, it is setting up to be a stormy night for parts of north central Alberta.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Jeff Hastings.
Good evening. At least one person is dead and 2 others are missing following a fire at an apartment building in North Edmonton last night. Firefighters and police officers are still at the scene, waiting to search the burned-out building. Evan Kenny is also there on 132nd Ave and 82nd Street. Evan, what's happening there now?
Well, Jeff, 82nd Street is blocked off in all directions for a number of blocks here as crews still deal with hot spots in the building. And just within the last 15 or so minutes, fire crews have actually gotten up in the ladder truck and are starting to look through the windows there now. One person who lives on the other side of the building told me earlier today he watched the whole scene unfold last night. He says he was helping people jump out of the windows, those top windows of the building there to escape the fire. An 85-year-old man is the only confirmed death. Police say he died trying to jump out from the building. His niece spoke with me off camera earlier. She says her aunt is also missing.
Yeah, it looked like the main explosion was in the convenience store for sure. Edmonton
Fire says just after 9 last night, a car drove into the mixed-use building. It hit a gas line, then flames shot up.
It was a very aggressive fire that was fueled by the gas line.
People in the area tell us they could smell gas after the crash. Then
It just sounded like a large explosion. I lived right across the street and I didn't know what it was, so I came running outside, and within seconds you could see the fire. There was fires, there was people jumping from the balcony.
There's a liquor retailer, cannabis and convenience stores, along with a restaurant on the bottom floor of the building. Above, apartments home to 35 people. One person, the 85-year-old man who leapt from his balcony, is confirmed dead. 6 people, including the 62-year-old driver of the crashed car, were taken to hospital. 2 people are unaccounted for.
Those are the 2 that we're aware of that are still unaccounted for. It doesn't necessarily mean they're in the structure. It's obviously been a very chaotic scene.
Please know that Edmontonians stand with you in this time of loss.
The homicide unit is investigating the situation. EPS is responding with its mass casualty protocol.
It's more about coordinating the response at the time, preserving evidence, understanding the scope of that incident, and just making sure that all those bases are covered.
Police say they can't go inside for at least another 48 hours.
It's pretty shocking, and it's sad. It's a sad situation.
EPS says it's still investigating why the car crashed into the building. EPCOR turned off the gas in the area, impacting about 1,700 people living nearby. Now, police say 82nd Street between 131st and 133rd Avenue will be closed for a few more days. Jeff?
All right, Evan, thank you. That's Evan Kenny live for us tonight. Firefighters are currently trying to bring a 2-house fire in Cameron Heights under control. Jeremy Thompson is there for us right now. Jeremy, what's the situation?
Oh, yeah, Jeff, only minutes ago here, the ladder trucks that I think you can see behind me right now just stopped dousing the 2 houses that were on fire in Cameron Heights neighborhood, which incidentally is only accessible by the Anthony Henday here. So just maybe have a look at what I'm seeing on the ground here. This, of course, has drawn a ton of attention from the neighbors and the folks who live in this area. Call came in just after 4 o'clock. Fire crews initially thought it was just 1 house on fire. It turned out to be multiple homes on fire, so the fire department had to send 8 units out here to respond to this. They've been, as I said, dousing 2 homes with water ever since I got here about 45 minutes ago. Lots of people observing. So far, fire crews say they have not had any injuries reported as a result of these fires, but of course, just a dramatic scene for the neighbors to come home and see at the end of the workday here, and there's quite extensive damage to at least 2 homes, some heat damage on other neighboring houses as well. At this point, I am only counting about 6 firefighters still on scene here as people sort of start to pack up a little bit here. They're obviously still closely monitoring and watching for any hot spots to douse. Plenty of EMS on site as well. But as I mentioned, no injuries so far on scene as has been reported so far. Fire crews are still looking into what may have caused this fire as well, Jeff. And so we are expecting to speak with the district fire chief in just a few minutes here. So hopefully we'll have some more information to share with our viewers either later in the show or on our website. Jeff?
All right, Jeremy, thank you. Jeremy Thompson live in Cameron Heights tonight. A provincial judge has temporarily frozen assets belonging to a leader of Alberta's separatist movement. $8.5 million belonging to lawyer Jeffrey Rath and his company is now inaccessible. The ruling stems from a court battle between Rath and his former client, Tall Cree First Nation, over trust money from a treaty settlement. Court documents allege the money in question was intended for minors. None of the claims have been proven in court. The opposition NDP believes the allegations are enough to warrant the Premier kicking Rath out of the UCP. He still holds a membership while also representing the Separatist Alberta Prosperity Project.
I think that she should make it very clear that people like this do not belong in a governing party. It speaks to the character of the people who are putting forward these messages that Alberta needs to consider separatism.
A further hearing is scheduled for tomorrow. Both Rath and the chief of Tall Cree First Nation declined to comment. The UCP has not responded to CTV's requests for comment. A hobby store in Leduc estimates more than $80,000 in Pokémon merchandise was stolen from its shelves. The heist was caught on camera. Noah Rashog has more on the break-in and the card craze behind it.
This break-in was no simple smash and grab. Early Saturday morning, a masked man cut an outdoor security camera and then drilled his way through the locks of the hobby spot in Leduc. His target, Pokémon cards.
Because Pokemon is like a pandemic in the world right now and in such high demand and short supply, there's cards in there as low as $50, $100. There's cards in there worth $2,000 each, $3,000 each. And if you're stealing them and your cost base is zero, you don't mind flipping them for 50, 60%.
Pokemon cards have skyrocketed in value. The Pokemon Price Tracker website says that the average card has increased in value by nearly 4,000% since 2004.
I believe this version of this card is worth about $1,600, but the English version is worth much more.
The Hobby Spot estimates the value of the cards stolen at $80,000.
You don't even worry about the dollar amount as much as you worry about the fact that you just kind of feel violated and like your place of business. And this is a fun place. There's great memories inside these walls. That's the clearest signature on the whole stick is that part.
The Hobby Spot sells hockey cards, memorabilia, and other collector items. But this thief was only interested in taking Pokemon products, which are harder to track. Crisby had his shop robbed once before in 2023. Stealing hockey cards is what led to the thief being caught.
He tried to sell a serial numbered card to a friend of mine's shop in Edmonton, just sticking to the non-serial numbered items. It's very hard to move hockey cards and not get caught.
The RCMP says they're investigating the break-in.
If you're a business owner, you likely are aware of which things are going up in value, and to be able to put items into locked cases and that kind of thing to make sure that you're protecting them.
The Hobby Spot will soon be moving locations. The owner says he'll be hiring a full-time security guard to keep his merchandise safe. Noah Rashog, CTV News, Edmonton.
New downtown road closures start tomorrow as construction on the Valley Line West LRT progresses. The north-south intersection at 102nd Ave and 105th Street is closing. With construction shifting, 104th Street will reopen, except on Saturdays for the downtown farmers market. Construction of the Valley Line West LRT is expected to be complete in 2028. The city is asking Edmontonians to watch for signs of Dutch elm disease after its arborists found 2 more cases. The fungal disease spread by small beetles is deadly to elm trees, which make up 22% of the city's urban forest. There are about 90,000 elms on boulevards and in parks, but the non-native trees are not common in the river valley. The city team that searches for diseased trees found one in Rossdale and one in Northmount, the 8th and 9th confirmed cases since the first was discovered in 2024.
The trees have multiple functions that increase the value of Edmontonians' daily lives. So the thought of losing all of our boulevard trees is really heartbreaking, and it's something that we take very, very seriously.
Both sick trees were on city property. Elms within 20 meters will have to be removed as a precaution. The city says brown, wilting, and curling leaves that stay on the branch can indicate a tree is infected, which is easier to see right now when most leaves are bright green. Spain advanced to the World Cup final today, beating France as Edmontonians watched from screens in Fan Park. Edmonton's summer of soccer continued under the Fan Park tent as Spain defeated France 2-0. Spain will now face either England or Argentina during Sunday's final. Fans watching today's match say they were here for the experience as well as the game.
I think it brings people together from all nationalities.
It's been fun, World Cup vibe, unity, bringing people together and less apart.
I wanted to be outside, and that's how we do it in France.
It's fun to watch as a group, as a family.
People get to come together and cheer together.
I want Canada to actually progress with soccer, with the likes of Alphonso Davies coming up and coming from the city. So it's a perfect experience for Edmontonians.
There's another World Cup watch party at Fan Park tomorrow for the second semi-final game between England and Argentina. Oktoberfest will return to Ice District this year, filling Fan Park with the traditions of the world-famous German celebration. It will take place each Friday and Saturday evening from September 18th to October the 3rd. It will include live entertainment, authentic German food, local vendors, games, and more. Tickets go on sale Saturday. Canadian Snowbirds will make their final flight over Edmonton tomorrow before the planes are retired and replaced. The federal government says the team will switch to a different fleet after this season. The Snowbirds will take off from EIA and fly over central Edmonton sometime between 12:15 and 12:45 tomorrow. Best viewing locations are Horlock Park, City Hall Plaza, the Ledge Grounds, and Odayaman Park. The flyover could be delayed or canceled depending on the weather.
I don't think they're going to have any problems.
No? That's good. No. The storms they should be done by then, right?
Lunchtime tomorrow looks fantastic. Morning and early afternoon hours look great. Around supper time tomorrow could see some storms. The risk for tonight is going to be closer to midnight. It's a late night risk if we get anything at all here in the city. Storms are starting to fire up in through the foothills. We'll show you that in a second. It's 26 degrees. In Edmonton right now, 27 for a daytime high today, 3 degrees warmer than average. It looks like it'll get even hotter in the coming days, 28s, 29s. We may even get to 30 one of the next 3 days. Severe thunderstorm watch for the areas in yellow. That includes the city of Edmonton. Just means potential for some severe storms. You also have a tornado watch for the areas in gray, and then severe thunderstorm warnings. Warning, storms are happening. In fact, here's the 3 storms that we're watching right now, and especially that one just west of Drayton Valley does appear to have some broad-scale rotation with it, so we're going to keep a close eye on that storm as it moves east-northeast over the next little bit. Here in Edmonton, those storms long ways away, but you can see the cloud cover already starting to spread its way to the northeast out ahead of those storms. So no imminent storms in the Edmonton area. This is still several hours away, again, if we get anything at all. These are going to be pretty isolated, and some of the latest modeling actually indicates that they may fizzle out before they hit the city. So we'll see how this plays out over the course of the next couple of hours. If you are in this area, though, here west and northwest of Drayton Valley, and then east of Edson along Highway 16 there, you're getting some really stormy weather, and you may want to pay very close attention to your weather conditions. Here in the city, beautiful through the evening. Could get a little stormy overnight tonight, and then warm again tomorrow with the chance of some storms around supper time. Full look at your 5 and 10 day in a couple minutes.
Thank you, Josh. Still ahead, state-of-the-art housing for Canadian military members.
These 6 apartment buildings are the first net zero ready buildings that the federal government has ever built.
Edmonton is now home to the first of hundreds of these specialized homes that will go up across the country. Also next.
Saw a need for the help in our community, and that's kind of where it started.
How a local group is helping new parents with one of the most costly baby essentials.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Dozens of new homes are now open at Canadian Forces Base Edmonton. They're the first of hundreds going up across the country. Curtis Goodrum has more on the federal government's plan to spend more than $1 billion on military housing.
One more time. Hey!
A celebration to mark the opening of 36 new housing units on Edmonton's Canadian Armed Forces Base. These are the first to be built under the Department of National Defence's new housing construction program.
These 6 apartment buildings are the first net zero ready buildings that the federal government has ever built.
Each unit was constructed with low carbon materials, higher insulation values, and will soon be equipped with energy efficient appliances.
At any point, we could decide to add renewable energy, like solar panels, and the buildings will be self-sufficient.
These buildings have been designed with an uneven roof to take full advantage of any future solar panel installs. It's being called Net Zero Ready Design, and it's to take advantage of Net Zero design philosophy.
They will address approximately 10% of the current housing wait list at CFB Edmonton. And as Canada's largest army base by population, we face growing demand.
The federal government says the current military housing plan is the largest since the Second World War. Base Commander J.P. Southern says the lack of easy-to-access housing is the reason many service members quit.
The burden of relocation is among the leading contributors to attrition in our Canadian Armed Forces.
These units cost $22.5 million. More than 800 are being built on 9 bases across the country. In total, $1.4 billion is being spent to modernize housing for Canadian Armed Forces members.
For phase 2, we will be adding higher density housing, so we're looking at buildings that have 40 units or more.
Curtis Goodrum, CTV News, Edmonton.
Former military land in northwest Edmonton is being turned into 4 new Habitat for Humanity homes.
Thank you.
The nonprofit broke ground on the project today. The land used to be part of the Canadian Armed Forces Base in Griesbach. The project is being funded through public money and private donations. Habitat for Humanity helps people purchase homes without needing a down payment.
Because we know right now that becoming a homeowner is something that's starting to become more and more out of reach for so many hardworking individuals that live here in Edmonton, that call Edmonton home. And this is going to be that opportunity for 4 families to get into homeownership that would otherwise be blocked out.
All 4 homes are now taking applications. Construction is expected to finish by October of this year. New provincial funding will be used to help victims of family violence. The Alberta government is spending $16 million on support programs across the province. The majority of that will be distributed through community streams in the Emergency Family Violence Services Program. Funding applications will open in September. The province hopes to have the new grant programs in place by next spring. A group in Fort Saskatchewan is helping families meet one of the most basic yet costly needs for babies. The community-run Diaper Bank provides diapers, wipes, and other essentials to struggling families. Parents can request support by messaging the Facebook group and then pick up the supplies when it's convenient for them. Organizers say they've seen incredible demand around Edmonton.
When I bought my first box of diapers, I was shocked at the cost, as you would be. But then having multiple children in diapers, obviously saw the costs and how quickly it added up. And, you know, it's not sustainable for everyone. So saw a need for the help in our community, and that's kind of where it started.
The group's founder says she helps 3 to 5 families every day. Anyone who wants to donate or receive support can message the Fort Sask Diaper Bank on Facebook. Still ahead, specialized skills put to the test.
They have the application. They know what they're doing. Now it's getting it refined.
Some of the world's best car painters are in our city preparing for an international skills competition.
Temperatures really started to climb through the day today, and the heat sticks around right through to the end of the week. More on that and the daily thunderstorm risk right after the break.
Programming brought to you by Century Casino. 3 great locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile. Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Some of the best car painters in the world are training in Edmonton this week. They're competing in an upcoming international competition in Shanghai. Amanda Anderson has that story.
The sound of tools is the only thing you'll hear in the Nate Auto Body Shop as these 3 car painters focus on the challenge at hand. They have to repair and paint a car hood in just 4 hours.
They have the application. They know what they're doing. Now it's getting it refined.
These painters represent Canada, Germany, and Taiwan, a Canadian challenge to prepare them to compete at the upcoming World Skills Competition.
World Skills is an international competition for the trades and technologies. So they bring together approximately 70 different countries representing 75 skills.
It's really cool to see like the different ways they do their work and just like how different you can be with everything you do in this trade.
Noah Seiler is a competitor from Germany.
Very cool. I'm happy that I'm here in Canada, and I think it is very good for the experience.
We're all performing the same standard with the same products, yet we're miles and miles apart. And so it is really exciting to invite countries here to share our experience, our knowledge, our traditions with them.
Annika Jones, a student at NATE, is representing Canada at World Skills.
It's chaotic, but it's really good to just gauge who I'm competing against and where the skills will be at the World Skills Challenge.
NATE instructor Cecile Buckmeyer has been training Jones at least 10 hours a week for the past year. Once they get to the World Skills Competition, Buckmeyer will take on a role as a judge and won't be able to communicate with her student. That's why she says bringing competitors together beforehand is so important.
When they make friends with each other, then she's feeling more comfortable, and so it's not completely like a fish out of water.
The World Skills Competition will be held in China at the end of September. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
All right, heat, storms, heat, storms, heat, storms. Did I get that right?
Over and over and over and over again. If we're going to see anything tonight, late this evening, tomorrow, a little bit earlier in the evening, the risk rolls in. We do have some really active weather right now, though. Further to the west, River Valley Skycam. Starting to see a bit of that cloud cover spread in, way out ahead of those storms. It's 26 degrees right now after hitting, well, you can update that to 27 for a daytime high, 23 in Grand Prairie and 24 in Red Deer. Again, in yellow, severe thunderstorm watch, potential for severe thunderstorms. In the gray zone here, west and southwest of the Edmonton area, that actually includes this region here as well. Tornado watch, no warnings just yet, although that may change in the next hour or so for this region here. We'll show you why in a moment. There's your warnings in the red zones. So you have 3 storms there. Well, maybe 4 if you count that. This cluster here, likely producing some sizable hail. That one for sure is producing some really sizable hail, as is this supercell just off to the west of Rocky Mountain House. The greatest rotation on these, though, looks to be from this one here. So wouldn't really surprise me. It doesn't look all that impressive. You can start to see a little bit of a twist there. It doesn't look all that impressive on this, but with the Doppler, we are seeing a little bit of a couplet there. So there may be the early stages of a tornado in through that area. As we said, that's still all a long, long ways away from the Edmonton area. This one not really moving all that much. I don't think this is going to make it too much further east of Rocky Mountain House, but these storms here further to the north, and this is what the latest modeling guidance is suggesting, passing north of the Edmonton area. It was, up until this afternoon, it was really looking like it was going to be mainly southwest of Edmonton that we had the best chance for severe storms and the potential for some tornadoes. There's still going to be these pretty intense storms here, but it looks like it may be a little more active now late this evening and overnight tonight, northwest and then north of the Edmonton region. Watch how this latest run drops these storms out just on the doorstep of Edmonton. There's 11 p.m., there's 1 a.m., and once you pass that through to about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, it just completely fizzles out. I'm not saying we get missed for sure here in the city, but by the time we get to about midnight, the ingredients for severe weather do diminish pretty significantly. So this modeling may be on to something here. We do need to pay close attention, though. If we're going to get anything at all, 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. would be the most likely time frame. And then here to the north, still some pretty potent storms overnight and into tomorrow morning. There's your clearing for tomorrow morning. Clouds will roll back in the afternoon, and again, around supper time and into the evening hours, chance of storms, potentially severe thunderstorms. That'll all clear out by early Thursday. Mid-20s right now in Edmonton and Red Deer. Mid-20s as well across the northeast. Grand Prairie sitting at 21, still 28 in Jasper. We'll get into that ballpark tomorrow. There's your chance of storms around midnight tonight, if at all. Sunshine to start tomorrow. Chance of storms, supper time or early evening tomorrow. And then highs near 30 for Thursday, Friday. Still on the hot side Saturday. Back into the mid-20s, it looks like Sunday.
Thank you, Josh. Still ahead, a critical shipping corridor again blockaded on orders from Donald Trump.
The attention is extreme right now. So I'll say we were a little bit unlucky in the time and space here.
Canadian ships caught in the Strait of Hormuz, and
they've discovered that we have a healthy ecosystem here, a lot of food, a lot of seals.
The rise of great white shark sightings in eastern Canadian waters. As the war between the U.S. and Iran returns to a level of violence not seen in months, Donald Trump has reestablished a blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. CTV's Judy Trin reports on the escalating situation and the Canadian ships stuck in the middle.
2 Canadian cargo ships have been stuck in the Strait of Hormuz for 136 days. The vessels, owned by Quebec company Desgagnés, have been unable to get out during a ceasefire that didn't hold.
The attention is extreme right now. So I'll say we were a little bit unlucky in the time and space here.
On the weekend, Tehran launched attacks on tankers belonging to U.S. regional allies. A ship from India was also hit, while Washington struck Iran's port cities and vessels. Donald Trump is reimposing the naval blockade, but walking back plans to charge ship protection fees. The U.S. president says Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Bahrain, Qatar, and Kuwait made him a different offer.
It was never fair to me that we would be guarding the strait when we basically don't take any, we don't need the oil at all. They said we'd love to do it a different way. We'd love to invest in the United States with billions and billions of dollars.
The war on the waterway has prevented the 2 ships owned by Desgagnés from returning to Canada to embark on deliveries to the Arctic Circle as the ice melts. Desgagnés has had to hire replacement ships from Europe in order to deliver essential supplies to northern communities.
This was a big cost. So we had to brought the ship here in Montreal, pay the fuel, pay the crew, pay the renting of the ship.
There are currently no Canadians on board Desgagnés stranded ships. Most of its crew are from the Philippines or Ukraine. And just 3 weeks ago, the company was able to get replacement merchant marines on board its ships. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
With tensions once again high in the Middle East, you can expect another big jump in prices at the pumps. CTV's Adrian Gobriel now on skyrocketing costs and who will feel it most.
The painful process of pulling up to the pumps is set to get even pricier.
Every time I hear the news is going up, it's a scary thing, man.
Gas prices are ticking upwards at midnight, anywhere from 5 to 10 cents per liter, depending on where you're located in the country.
We are seeing the effect of a shortage, of scarcity, of an energy crunch.
This is the average predicted price for regular gas in cities across Canada as of tomorrow, with one of the highest expected averages to be found in Vancouver at 198.9. One of the cheapest averages will be located in Edmonton at 165.
The world is quickly running out of oil, available oil to meet demand.
The price for Brent crude today hovered around $85 per barrel. The price this time last year was $66.84 per barrel. Stateside inflation in the United States cooled last month in part because of a dip in gas prices. The renewed strikes on key assets by both the U.S. and Iran in the Gulf has been a driving factor, behind the rise in oil prices for a second consecutive day.
It's frustrating. It's a little bit scary, you know, because I got a kid that I got to feed as well.
I still need to drive, so
You're stuck. The road ahead for budget-conscious consumers and drivers remains both turbulent and unpredictable. An additional heads up for those families who are planning to load up their cars and head out for a summer road trip this weekend. Gas prices are expected to continue to increase later this week. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Toronto.
New documents show Canada Post handed its executives and managers nearly $31 million in performance-based payments last year. A Canada Post spokesperson says the money was part of an existing compensation program and comes from its own revenues, not the repayable government bridge financing. Ottawa recently approved a bailout of up to $673 million. The Crown Corporation reported a record $1.57 billion in losses last year. After a deadly shooting by immigration enforcement agents at a traffic stop in Maine, the Trump administration is making changes to how they operate. Here's CTV's Joy Malbon on the deepening concern over ICE tactics in America.
The sound of shots fired were heard on a home security camera. Footage shows a white car driving in a circle. It's unclear if this was before or after the shooting at a traffic stop in Bedford, Maine. ICE agents say they were targeting someone for removal as they pull what appears to be a limp body from the car, handcuffing his hands, the windshield covered with bullet holes.
He put him on the ground, and I heard the young man say, "I tried to stop." Clearly heard him say that.
Turns out the man fatally shot was not the target. Johann Sebastian Guerrero was a 26-year-old Colombian man authorized to work in the U.S., according to officials.
ICE doesn't want to admit what a botched operation that this was a wrongly targeted person, but somebody who was just going to work, and their death was witnessed by a 3-year-old child.
From protests in Maine.
I don't know what he did, but he didn't deserve to be executed in the street.
To anger in Houston, Texas, where another family is in mourning. Lorenzo Salgado Araujo shot and killed by ICE agents last week. He, too, was the wrong target, and in both cases, ICE agents were not wearing body cameras.
Civil rights organizations have filed lawsuits against aggressive tactics by ICE, an agency under pressure to deliver President Trump's promise of mass deportations. Joy Malbon, CTV News, Washington.
The U.S. House has passed a measure to enact year-round daylight saving time across the United States. The bill on the long-debated issue will now head to the Senate for approval, though its chances in the upper chamber remain unclear. Proponents say it would spare Americans the twice-yearly clock change, while critics say it could have economic consequences, especially for farmers. If the bill makes it to the president's desk for approval, it would follow in Alberta's footsteps. The UCP government passed a bill this year to stay permanently on daylight time. While great white sharks are frequent visitors to Canada's east coast, researchers are learning more about how much time they spend in Canadian waters. CTV's Emma Convey explains.
Two great white sharks were spotted swimming 800 meters from the shore near Grazers Beach this past weekend.
Where I am happens to be a place that great white sharks like to frequent, and so I enjoy filming them as a hobby.
For 5 years, Alex DeSaint Sardos has been filming great whites and says weather and visibility make for short seasons of sightings, but still captures up to 10 every summer.
Usually they're just sort of swimming in circles or hanging around. Sometimes they're, going from A to B. They're typically not far from shore. They're usually within 200 to 600 meters.
The most common sharks in our waters are blue, porbeagle, mako, and great whites. This shark expert has studied sharks for years. He says great whites are becoming more prevalent.
Not that there's more great whites, it's that the great whites that are within the North Atlantic, I think they're spending more time in Nova Scotian waters, particularly because they've discovered that we have a healthy ecosystem here, a lot of food, a lot of seals.
Record seal numbers are a main reason they're seeing so many, as well as the protection that came into play in 1997.
You have these two things colliding. You have the demographic of more sharks because they were protected, and you have almost unlimited food north of the border.
The ones that are tagged are just a fraction of those out there.
And there's a mark recapture ratio you can do. That figure would put it into the thousands of sharks. Something around 5,200 sharks.
If you come in contact with one, advice is don't panic.
If it moves left, you kind of follow it left. If it moves right, you follow it right. That's because they're ambush predators. They like to sneak up on prey. So by you showing the shark that you know it's there, it can often make it very uncomfortable and want to swim away.
Finally, calmly get out of the water and stay away for at least 4 hours. Emma Convey, CTV News, Green Bay, Nova Scotia.
Still ahead, another labor dispute could impact summer travel.
This issue is not new. 3.5 years ago, we launched a campaign called Unpaid Work Won't Fly. The company has had 3.5 years to prepare for this.
Why WestJet flight attendants could walk off the job in just a few weeks. Also next. An Alberta boy wins the Pokémon equivalent of the lottery thanks to a packaging error. Details next.
Programming brought to you by K-Days. The best 10 days of summer are back.
Checking on today's market numbers, a jump for the Canadian dollar, now above 71 cents U.S. Oil was up $1.20, trading near $79 a barrel. Gold saw a $64 bump. On the stock market, the TSX is up 67 points. The Dow Jones is up 9 points on the day. The votes are being tallied to determine whether thousands of WestJet flight attendants will walk off the job in the coming weeks. Hundreds stood outside the airline's headquarters in Calgary today, the latest step in a labor dispute that has lasted 10 months. CTV's Alicia Fieldberg reports.
Their lips are sealed, but their signs speak volumes. 250 WestJet flight attendants stand together in silent protest outside the airline's Calgary headquarters. The union says the 4,400 WestJet flight attendants it represents want to be paid for all of their work.
People understand that when you're at work, performing safety-sensitive, regulated work, you should be paid.
Right now, they're not paid before the aircraft doors close, so do up to 35 hours of unpaid work every month. The airline says the hourly wage they are paid is created to compensate their work in those hours. An aviation expert says that wage has not kept up with inflation.
Union at WestJet flight attendants is saying, listen, we have to catch up.
WestJet agrees the contract needs to be updated.
Award a contract that makes sense for a flight attendant, that they feel valued, that they feel well compensated, but that also is sustainable for our business.
After 11 months of negotiations, the company and union have not reached an agreement, so union members are deciding whether or not to strike.
This is not the place we want to be, but we also can't continue in the archaic system known as the flight credit system and not be appropriately paid for all of our hours' work. It has to change.
Last year, Air Canada flight attendants went on strike over similar concerns. It lasted 3 days, impacting about 500,000 passengers before the federal government ordered them back to work. Air travelers are bracing for another potential disruption.
I mean, I do understand it's frustrating for some travelers, but it's important for everybody to get fair pay.
If they're on that plane and they're working, they should be doing their job and getting paid whether they're on the ground or in the air.
No matter the disruption, passengers in Canada have the right to receive compensation, including getting a flight with a competitor.
You are about to travel and your flight is cancelled. You have every right to be rebooked on a competitor airline if WestJet is unable to rebook you on its own or partner airlines.
Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Calgary.
A report from the Alberta government showed oil sands producers are emitting less carbon for every barrel of oil they produce. The report says emissions per barrel have fallen 28% since 2012. The province credits new technology, innovation, and more efficient operations. One energy analyst calls the emissions reductions impressive. She says they are the result of changes made more than a decade ago.
Certainly, this is a sector that has improved its emissions intensity over time, but those improvements have really stalled out. And there's not really an indication that they're on a trajectory to sort of pick up those improvements in the near term.
The report also shows total carbon emissions have grown as oil sands production has more than doubled since 2012 to more than 3.3 million barrels a day. A Pokémon card packaging error ended up providing a young fan in Lacombe with the surprise of a lifetime. During a Pokémon card pre-release event at Amazing Wonders Emporium, the young collector opened what's known as a God Error pack. That's a special pack where all cards are above a certain rarity. This particular pack had 11 copies of the same extremely rare gold Mega Darkrai card, which is a packaging error.
This is not normal, and especially like my Brian, who works in the store here too, he's the Pokemon guy, and he says, yeah, like that's probably the only pack that's going to come out like that for this set. So it is like, like a 1 in a whatever 10 million kind of a thing.
Resale listings for the Gold Darkrai EX card range from $600 to $800, making his pack worth more than $7,000. The Pokemon Mega Evolution Pitch Black card set officially releases Friday. Still ahead, the kids are all right. How goat grazers are filling the role wild animals used to play on the prairies.
Stay with us. We've got another full night of great shows for you tonight on CTV.
An annual campaign that sees dozens of goats grazing at a Calgary park is back on. In addition to weed control, the munching animals also reduce the risk of wildfire. CTV's Kevin Fleming takes a look.
Goats are back at Nose Hill, controlling invasive plants, reducing wildfire fuel, and improving the health of Nose Hill's grasslands.
They have enzymes that help break down a lot of the toxins in a lot of the weeds that they're eating. And so that's why a lot of the weeds that other livestock won't eat are actually palatable to the goats.
Goats are browsers, not true grazers, preferring weeds, shrubs, and woody plants over grass. That makes them particularly good at targeting the vegetation the city wants removed. They may look like an unusual crew, but they're filling a role once played by larger animals that once roamed the prairies.
We don't have our historic grazers here, such as bison and elk, and so we're bringing in goats as analogs for those historic grazers.
This year's wet weather has Nose Hill especially green, giving the herd an even bigger buffet, meaning they'll fill up faster and might not cover as much ground as they have in previous years. Of course, anything going in the front end of a goat eventually comes out the other end, returning nutrients to the soil.
There's beautiful poop. It's wonderful. The poop is so great that it doesn't redistribute the seeds.
Their hooves also help loosen the soil, making it easier for native plants to grow. And while the environmental benefits are serious, there's no denying they're also adorable.
And it's cute. There's a cuteness factor.
Everybody goes, oh my God, they're here! They get so excited, or they go, nah! For some reason, everybody wants to baa at the goats.
Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
Severe thunderstorms off to the west of the Edmonton area. You can see with the yellow arrows the direction they're moving. That one there is the one we're really keeping an eye on as far as the risk for Edmonton. You can see it's still a long ways away. It's only moving about 30 kilometers per hour, so that's still a good 4 or so hours away. So somewhere around midnight, we'll be kind of eyeballing 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. is the potential for storms if we're going to get them in the Edmonton area. We are under severe thunderstorm watch, warnings in red, and still that potential for tornado as the evening progresses for the areas in gray. Those watches and warnings will update throughout the evening, so pay close attention to those advisories through the rest of tonight.
Sounds good. Thanks, Josh. Thanks for sharing your time with us. Have a great evening, everyone.